Puppy Chen. They'll stick with what they know. They get a lot of AoE lockdown with this Earthshaker. And are there any shenanigans they'd be up to with Fissure, or just a strong AoE support, you think?
I mean, if you line up a good Fissure, you could definitely set up some Shackle Shots. It's such a long range spell.
And no surprises here. It's going to be that Funnick ancient jungling stuff that we've seen from him for weeks now. They started it in China, and they've continued since then. So when they do this, their first destination is 3 or 4 heroes in this area. They always make sure to set up some good wards for him so he sees any incoming smoke ganks. They ensure the enemy team doesn't ward the ancients. So instead of going into the enemy jungle, instead of going into their jungle, they just focus on protecting their ancients. And you already see him eating the trees.
Yeah, he's going to be... well, he could just power shot and cut all the trees, but why waste mana when you could just use your tank, Calling Blade to do it? Generally, he doesn't even pick up the Calling Blade so early. He want to make sure that well, they secure this ward first, for example.
Yeah, which they do with ease. Dignitas aren't they're not I guess they're an okay level 1 lineup, but they're not that great, so they can't really contest this too much anyway. We'll see what they look to do for the lanes.
If they could send in a couple of treants and perhaps block it off here for the first spawn, that wouldn't be too bad.
They should, and they should really know that Na'Vi likes to do this, because Navi's shown it a lot. But I guess the thing is, if you're doing that, then Universe just isn't slowing any of the supports down. He's not slowing down the jungle Chen. He's not slowing down the pulls of the Earthshaker. So doing that really hurts their other... it really frees up the rest of Na'Vi.
They're paying the hell out of Funnick, so they definitely know he's doing it.
Well, now they know, but the problem is there's a ward up for Funnick. He's got high ground position here. It won't be nearly as easy to contest. And on that note, we'll introduce the teams. Your Eastern European squad, Funnick on the Windrunner, Puppy, the Chen, the solo mid will be Dendi on the Razor. Towards the jungle, we have Kuroki handling the Earthshaker as the support. Kavost on that beast carry lifestealer. He is still on a roll. I think we inspired him, Lumi.
I think we did.
On the side of Team Dignitas, you've got your off-lane Nature's Prophet. That'll be Universe. The North American squad, Snake King, your solo mid OD. They really do want to shut down this ancient stack.
Oh, too late.
They're 1 second too late with the Observer. The first ancient spawn, way too sexy on the Visage. Fogged on the Enchantress, or sorry, not the Enchantress, the Vengeful Spirit, and that leaves, last but not least, Safe Lane AUI 2000 Elk.
Yeah, being late on that one means... who cares if it's going to be blocked for a couple minutes? These dragons take like a while to farm anyway, so Funnick's going to be set for the next 3-4 minutes. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane though, Snake King should have a huge advantage matchup here. Well, I say huge.
I don't know. I mean, maybe at the early levels, but I think the results of most people who have seen the matchup have said that generally Razor seems to be winning this. So we'll see. And I as a player, I would give Dendi the edge.
I'll take Dendi any day over Snake King.
But despite being a good American, it's hard not to take Dendi there.
I mean, Dendi's Team America.
Apparently, according to Grand Grant, I'm a race trader.
A race trader.
So.
why are you a race trader?
Because I like some of the Chinese teams.
I see.
That's okay though. I can live with Grand Grant's flames. If he's flaming you, you're doing something right.
Yeah, mid lane kind of passive. Let's actually check out how we're doing on the bot lane. Havosa CSing against nobody, and are these treants doing enough? Or are they kind of just...
so for the time being, he's actually getting fissure blocked when he tries to throw them in, I guess. Has he been able to get off any pulls? We haven't actually seen yet, I guess.
He's actually blocking these pulls, so that's very nicely micro. Although one thing that he has to definitely worry about is that once there's face boots up on the Havos, a single fissure coming out from the fog, he just face up to you into open wounds, and you're dead. Like, no questions asked.
Yeah, and if he does dive the tower, then the question is, can anyone on Dignitas really punish that? And I don't think so. There's no Shadow Demon to TPN. Fogged, only level 2, so Havos should have his phase boots in, I don't know, the next minute or so. And then you'll have to be very careful if you're Universe. Again, this is what I'm talking about when we look at how Zenith played against Dignitas versus how Na'Vi is they don't just give away stuff for free. Like, Zenith gave away a free level 6 to an off-lane Prophet. Na'Vi's not going to do that. Yep,
meanwhile, we do have Way Too Sexy setting up a gank, but I do believe Na'Vi is completely aware of this. Somebody's watching this particular ward.
And the problem is, like, how do you actually gank this? If you go for mid, that's fine, but you can't gank the Windrunner when she's across the cliff.
No, I think they're trying to gank mid, but, like, this ward.
It's actually pretty risky too, because they don't know where Puppy is. In theory, Funnick could be coming this direction, but Dendi, well, he'll posture towards mid. Seems like he knows they're smoked and wanted to reveal it.
They definitely do know he's smoked. They pinged it out, but
yeah, there is an observer and a sentry, so he should know. And they'll try and steal a big dragon. That would be a pretty big steal.
I mean, it's a little bit too high for it right now.
It hurts a lot.
Yeah,
this thing hits for 64 damage.
That's why you don't tank the hit. That's why this jungle, you kind of pull it back and forth we go. You don't tank it.
Kawa, apparently we don't have in-game sound here. I'm not sure if that's accurate,
They're
but they're
coming
wrapping around now on
Funnick.
Funnick. He gets magic missiled up. He's taking a decent amount of damage.
He's got one run.
Wind run and on the run.
And that's why sometimes not getting the power shot at level 1 to cut down these trees are very, very important, because if you did that, he would have basically died there. In fact, now Puppy's going to come around here and help out to jungle this particular Ancient.
Guys, apparently the sound is working, so if it's not working for you, try refreshing. And they are going to get the dragon. They don't kill Funnick. So overall, huge victory for Navi. And that's the thing, is this Windrunner strat on the Radiant side especially, it's just very hard to actually punish it. And while they're trying to punish it, Puppy's getting a lot out of the jungle. It's the same story as game 1, where Navi just seem to be getting a lot more off the lanes.
I mean, this is, like, you're not running support Zeus. There's no surprise here. Navi's been running this kind of strat for quite a bit. Kuroki's actually dropping quite low. Maybe Nature's Prophet could do something. No, Fidger's going to ward him off, get a couple of CS. In fact, now killing these treants as well.
For the time being, there's an Astral mid, and that Razor is 16-9. Snakekin's actually losing his lane here.
I mean, well,
it's tough, because look at what Denny does. He just steals your damage, he dives you under tower, and even just stealing that 25 or so, now they're about even.
Well, the one thing that we need to mention is that 4:30, Alchemist has a Hanamitis.
And while that's happening, the first blood bottom.
Yeah.
We do miss it. So we're trying to fix some audio issues here, I guess, guys, so sorry about that. But Havost, along with Kuroki, combined to kill off Universe. And it's that safe lane already phase boots up.
Right, that's kind of what...
Not much you can do.
Fissure, phase boot walk in, open wounds, easy kill. That's as expected, and I guess Universal was a little slow to react to that.
And look at, like, what does Snake actually do against this? Denny's almost always going to have mana, because this static link takes almost nothing to cast. 40, and it's level 3 already.
Jesus, he's just diving here for the kill. Needed 2 more hit. He didn't have a face boot or something like that, so wasn't going to go for it.
And now we see why Navi, when they picked OD, they banned Razor. This is why. Very difficult matchup. So understanding it and doing everything they can to deal with it. Unfortunately, Dignitas getting caught kind of with their pants down. The tier 1 top's under a lot of pressure. 3 heroes for Dignitas trying to take that first tower, but the thing, Funnick's only level 2, and that is the other way you can try and punish that Ancient jungling, is if you just push super early. He can't really do much, but...
I mean, he's going to get leveled then, right?
Now he gets the level.
Yeah.
So it's like, no matter what you do, you win, but this is one way to try and punish it at least.
And as soon as Dignitas ran past the tower already, Puppy's sending a Chen Creep to help out. I mean, if this Chen Creep dies, who cares? You get a little bit of EXP, but Woodman is going to get a little bit more. Chen Creep alone is actually going to delay this push by quite a bit.
Yeah, they're pushing the top lane, and the Centaur just drawing the creeps off as much as possible. They just don't have a good pushing tri-lane. There's nothing really to do a lot of damage to the tower. They have the aura, it's decent, there's no familiars up yet. And even if they take it, they're sitting 3 heroes in the lane and they're not pulling. And guess what Navi's doing? Puppy's jungling, he's already level 5. This is just so good for Navi.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like Navi's just outplaying Dignitas. And it's not even close how much you're outplaying it. Havost, by the way, level 7 with Fates. But like Team Steam actually pick up a teleport scroll. If there's some big dive for Woodman up top, maybe you actually get up a couple kills.
Now more damage being stolen by Snakehane. 1-0, they're leading in terms of kills. They're already up by 2k gold and 2.5k experience. If you're Dignitas, I think you don't feel comfortable here, but you do have the absolute free farm, Hand of Midas Alchemist. He had this really fast as well. So if they want to just try and win by out-farming Navi, they do have some ways to do it. They have Prophet to split push. He's still getting decent levels. 4 for Universe in 7 minutes is not too bad against FaZe Boots Lifestealer. I don't feel like they're nearly as out of it as they were in Game 1, because their draft is a lot more stable.
But at the same time, OD is not really a do-something hero until much later, so...
And you pick him to win his lane, and he's not winning.
He's not winning those lanes. And starting in the mid-game team fight, like, what is actually Snakehane gonna do? He's gonna have a 4-staff for the team, or maybe a mech, depending what build he goes for. He's just not gonna be as effective as Dendi, who probably is gonna charge in, link up somebody, and start going to work. I don't think Dignitas, 2 games in a row, I don't think they're farming for mid-game. They're farming for ultra late. That's why we see a 4-minute and 30-second Hand of Midas on the Alchemist, who is maxing that Grievous Greed. And knowing AUI, he's last hitting pretty much everything.
Yeah, so super fast Midas, what do you go for here? With your OD having such a bad start?
Shadow Blade, apparently.
I think the Shadow Blade.
But top lane here.
Best bomb on Kuroki. Fissure blocks there, but he gets passed an awkward way around the tower.
Shackle
Still running
shot.
in a beautiful shackle. Now Havost comes out. Surprise, it's me, and I'm out for blood. AUI slowed up. He throws out the stun. It won't be enough. Down he goes. I mean, that was with the path thing being super awkward. It should have been way easier, but still they get the kill.
Nice Shaco here between Windrunner and OG.
And the funny part is when you see an Earthshaker coming in, you don't expect them to be infested.
I mean, this is what
Who
Navi
does that?
This is what Navi been doing all day. Like
Who does that?
They just TP the support.
Navi does that.
Yeah, they TP the support with the infested lifestealer because he could just TP back in the mid lane and he will do so right now to focus on Den. But here comes Havos. Havos right turning on the Fog. Fog's gonna be dead, and now Drum's gonna get popped on Havos. Shaco shot onto 2, and all of these guys, they are so dead. Dignitas snaking on the run, but yeah.
It's a massacre. It's a triple kill, and Dendi is out of control. So too is Havost. Sure, you can angle for ultra late game, but you'd better get through the early and mid game. And giving up 5 kills, now down by 5k gold and 5k experience, that is no way to get to the late game.
Well, what does Dignitas do now?
Meanwhile, Puppy's going for some action of his own universe. He's running from Chen. The 3 position just can't deal with this jungler. He tries to TP out. He will get away with a well-placed Sprout. Nicely done.
Yep.
Still, though, like you said, they're using Infest really creatively. A lot of teams will just use it later on. You've got your typical Lifestealer Bombs, Prophet TPs, your Storm Spirit ganks, but this is a very different way to play it, and it's catching Dignitas completely by surprise.
Yeah, both Navi. In fact, this is how Fnatic used it against Navi yesterday in their 2-0 win over Navi. So
You're right.
Navi has been picking up a little bit of out of the other teams that have been beating them. So, I mean, they're evolving. They're getting better.
Still, there is a ray of hope. Shadowblade's coming out for AUI 2000. He might be able to find some solo kills around the map. There's no gem up yet for Navi, thankfully. But, well, I'm talking about his Shadowblade. Look who else might be going for one. Mr. Funnick. Already a Claymore up.
Dang.
So,
did a Shadowblade?
I guess you're running kind of a, not the strongest late game hero in a mid for Dendi. You're running the Razor, so maybe they want to give themselves more options here. Get a Shadowblade up on the Windrunner.
I mean, I don't think Dendi needs to be really that...
Oh, meanwhile, Echo Slam on to Kuroki in the middle of the fray, though. They've lost 1 for 1. Now they'll back off.
Yeah. Getting themselves back on the board. Was it Snake King that picked up the kill? No, it was way too sexy on his visage. Meh.
It's actually double Shadowblade. They're going for one on Dendi as well. Shadowblade Razor is like an old school classic. You start your static link and then
you Shadowblade.
And the ult still affects people. Eye of the Storm. It actually, his old ult used to just damage everything in an AoE. It was like a mini Radiance, and that was like the super cheesy easy mode pub way to play him. But I think this is pretty effective, and they just Dignitas, they have pretty poor and underleveled supports, and buying double Shadowblade puts immense pressure on them. They're going to have to buy mass sentries, which means no early urns, no early bracers, much easier for the Havos to kill.
Yeah, the thing that we haven't talked about too much is that why is there a Navi courier just... Alright, just buying things from the slide shop. Now it's just going to the enemy... Oh, it's going to Havos. I was like, what's going on right now?
It's, yeah. You're getting the teams mixed up, I think. It's just delivering his armlet, but...
Okay.
Now, Dendi going in mid lane. Snake King will Astral and look to run. But that
the
Purge
lasts... Jesus.
The Purge lasts long enough to give him like an extra 80 damage.
They're walking up the hill. Stomp number 1, stomp number 2, and Dendi just shredding Fogged apart.
You can't do that. Not at nighttime with Navi having multiple heroes off the map. The vision isn't there. Snake King, another Astral. He's trying to run. Forced to TP out because of Boast is in the party. Big fissure from Kuroki. 2 more hit the deck. You can't run up this hill at night. I mean, it feels like Dignitas are just feeling very much under the gun and pressing because they've been a lot more patient than that before today.
I mean,
or before this game even.
I mean, playing against Navi and playing against any other team is a big difference. So
yeah, exactly. I feel like it's getting to them a little bit because Dignitas is normally pretty, like we talked about, all their great movement on their supports, not making many mistakes. These are some mistakes that we were not seeing from them.
Yeah, not at all.
And some of them are unforced. Like Navi has forced a couple of mistakes, but that was just completely unforced there.
AUI 2000, so close to death that he does not know it yet.
Yeah, he does get a Shadowblade. Even if he dies, 12-minute Shadowblade Midas is still pretty damn good on an Alk, but Havost is actually out farming it. He's already got an armlet up, and the Shadowblades are coming out now. Windrunner picks hers up. Dendi should have his soon. And then they can just go and kill anyone.
Okay, I mean, when you have max Grievous Greed and practically free farm with a hand of Midas, and you're down by 1,200 gold to Havos, how does that even work? 1-0-5
Because you have 30 less CS, and he's 1-0-5,
and, he has
you're
towers,
0-1-0.
2 towers on top
and
of
towers.
Yeah.
And now Universe. Universe hit by 1 nuke. Now
Oh,
it's 2 hero
what?
shackle. Even better. It's a 2-for-1 special. Navi just got a deal, and they didn't even realize it. And now an Echo Slam from Kuroki. 2 more hit the deck.
They see AITP. Do they have detection? That's a question right now.
They are rolling so hard. They are making one of the best teams in Group A look silly right now.
Well, maybe it's just Navi and everybody else in Group A.
Is it? Yeah.
Shaco shot right there.
They did lose 2-0 to Fnatic, but apparently Fnatic is struggling right now against DK. So we'll talk about that more after this game ends. Either way, how it turns out. But Kuroki looking for a fissure now. Damage being stolen from Dendi. No, they're going to go back in. The OD, the first one down. Now the chase is on for Puppey. Simultaneously, Dendi, he takes all AOS damage, and then he uses it against Way Too Sexy. 2 dead. And oh, by the way, look what Havost is doing. He's just going high ground at 13 minutes.
So, hey, guys.
He's going to dive Universe into the tier 4 towers. Is there a swap? No, the teleport canceled. But Havost has Infest. They can't kill him.
Yeah, they can't.
Jesus.
I think he's going to wait for the score down. Yeah, he's going to just come back out. Meanwhile, tier 1 is going to drop top. Tier 2 is going to fall down. I just want to go back here. If you could put your camera here for this Shaco shot. There was 1 hero here. And there was 1 hero here, and the Shaco came this way. By the way, there's like 20 trees here. But it's like, nope.
But that's the way Shaco works.
Yeah,
Shaco,
hero selection.
It prioritizes heroes over trees and over other units.
It's just so lousy to see it like that. It's like, bam.
Because you're like, oh, I'm going to get shackled to a tree. I'll be fine. Nope, that's not the case. Now Funnick fishing for another shackle. He's going to line up 2. Fissures there. This is too easy. This is not fair. I feel like I'm watching them go bowling. Snake King on the run. Dendi's got his ult available. Beautiful body block from Funnick slowing him down. Now the ult thrown out. Snake King starting to melt. They need a stun. They need something. They're not getting much. Plasma field thrown out. 2 more dead. Havost gets tired of pushing bottom and decides to go kill everyone. And Dignitas will GG out before the 15-minute mark. 16-1 your score, and I think there's no question that Navi are now the favorites in Group A.
No questions. No questions.
No
and
questions.
I'm still predicting that Dignitas goes 7-7, and LGD China make a triumphant return.
DK's doing well.
DK's doing well. LG China perhaps could be on the rise.
Apparently DK had a rough start today, but from what we've been hearing, they've started to bounce back. I don't know who's streaming that one, but at this point you guys should know it's either Shiver, Toby, or AC. So you can check those out.
But yeah, can we, or I guess Ben is going to be doing some endgame analysis for us.